I've had friends and family like, oh man, things just seem to work out for you. Things just seem to work out for you guys. That they always just line up. You guys are so lucky. You're so lucky. We've heard that from multiple people. And looking back, I'm like, you know what? I don't think it's luck at all, because it's the and I'm going to share a story because this is it's getting to the point where it's creepy because it's working, and this kind of goes to something that you told me before we went on air. Whatever the vibrations you're putting out are what you're going to get back, right? So if you sit there and say like, oh my God, the weather's so bad today, traffic looks like it's bad today, this is bad, you're gonna have a bad day. You're just putting it out there, right?
Yeah.
Like, why would your day turn around? Welcome back to the Real Life Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler. My co-host, Paul, is here as well.
Hey guys, happy to be back.
Look at that, we nailed it today.
I went too
awesome.
fast. I was too excited.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Thanks for listening. If you're listening on whatever podcast app you choose to listen to, that's great. But you can find us on Apple and Spotify and YouTube and anywhere else you find podcasts. Thanks for following along.
Yeah, love it. Love hearing the feedback too. People have been commenting on some of the positive, kind of constructive. Really appreciate everyone kind of reaching out and giving us feedback. It's been a blast so far.
Yeah, absolutely. If you love the show, tell us. If you hate the show,
Tell us.
I guess tell us. But podcasting is so much fun. I really enjoy doing this, and yeah, we are learning as we go. But I think we sound good, and the content's been great. No concerns there. We got another great show lined up for this week, and the best part is we're consistently putting out episodes, so that's an improvement.
Yeah, love it. No, we're good. We're making time, and that's like, we're going to talk about this. It's part of everything is prioritizing things, and even just within busy days, trying to like schedule an hour to sit down, and it is something that I enjoy as well, and I'm learning, and I've actually had a fun kind of going back and listening to some of the episodes too. And I know in the past I would have thought that, like, when you hear your own voice on your voicemail or whatever,
Oh yeah.
people hate that. I've gotten over that, and I actually enjoy listening to us as well.
Yeah, I give every episode we put out a listen, and I've told people that, and they go like, "You're nuts! Oh man, you just love yourself so much, big head, whatever." But it's not like that. I'm not like, "Ooh, what are these two guys talking about today?" It's more so like I want to listen, critique, and see what we can do better, and always improve the show. But also the content is good. Like I enjoy listening to it. Like if this wasn't us hosting this show and it was somebody else, I'd totally subscribe.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love it. What do you want to talk about today?
Oh man, it's this one hits home this week. It's springtime, in our industry, things are moving really fast, and I knew this was going to happen because we came out of winter, things kind of took forever to get going, and now we are moving really fast, and it kind of came out of nowhere, so it's just like everything all at once. And now, yeah, I have a lot of hats to wear, and I'm always on. And like that's the thing we're gonna talk about today is like this gig. If you're in this industry or any other industry, you're always on if you're running the show, and it can have some really good results for you and your family. There's some challenges that come with that. And I think today we're going to kind of talk about both sides of that coin because there's, yeah, the plus side. I just got back from playing golf this
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
Quick 18 in before I got back to my desk. It's now, just after 11 in the morning and golf's done. So that's one of the positives is you can squeeze those kinds of things in. But the
100%.
other side of it is there's some challenges for sure too.
Yeah,
What's
and
your
it
week
kind
like?
yeah, well, yeah, and it kind of is a nice segue or like a whatever, continue whatever the word would be, like from last episode, right? We talked about, hey, you're at the party, you're out having fun. How do you manage business and keeping your craft professional, but also having fun too? So, yeah, my
Yep.
week's been amazing. Like if you put it this way, like I'm trying to reframe things because I think a lot of times us people in general, we can lean towards the negative. What is that? Pessimist? Being a pessimist?
Pessimistic. Yeah. Yep.
So I'm trying to frame things like, yeah, glass half full. And so it's been very, 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 very work busy, which means if people want to work with me, it means I get paid, right? Which is
Yep.
great. But then at a certain point, you're like, oh my word, like I haven't spent any time with my family or friends or haven't been to the gym, haven't golfed, I haven't left other than going for a family walk the last couple days. That's the only thing I've done other than
Yeah.
being at my desk. So it's again very happy. And I can now buy all these things for my baby's first birthday. That's going to be ridiculous.
Oh, I
It's
could
going to,
just imagine.
dude, we're
I
talking,
can just
I don't,
imagine.
spoiler alert, like there's going to be face painting, snow cones. There's going to be, dude, we might even have like a pony. Like
Yeah, you will.
it's a little extra.
I'm
So
like, wait for the one detail that's
yeah,
very Paul.
and there's
Love
not
that.
only that, I think one of the bouncy castle obstacle courses is 45 feet long. Like
Nice.
bro, it's gonna be the ultimate. And maybe I shouldn't, some of the parents are listening, don't tell your kids how epic it's gonna be. But so long story short, like when we're talking about the invoices and this and that, thank goodness. Well, Courtney picked a great time to bring it up because I kept talking about how busy I've been, but
Yep.
how which means money. And then she was like, "Well, hey, here's the quote for the party," and I'm like, fine. Last week I would have said no.
Yeah. Well, and like, I mean, you bring this up all the time. You're like, what's it all for, right? Like
Yeah.
that is the benefit of choosing to run your own company and choosing to live this life where you do have to be on, all the time. As you get, obviously, as your company scales, I know there's people who might listen to this and they're further down the road. They've been doing this for 10, 15 years and they think, wow, these guys are idiots. You don't have to be all that busy. You can put this stuff on cruise control. And there's ways of building systems and things in place to slow you down and not have to like always be on like this. You can kind of, have things. You can hire people to do stuff. And it's weird, man, because like this is something that has come up with a few different people. I know you and I have chatted about this before, but like offloading certain things so that we're not
Yep.
this busy. And oh man, I had like a 30-minute chat with a guy. I hardly knew this dude, but we got really into the weeds about it. Just about like like I feel I'm a control freak by nature. I
Yep.
want to
Same.
have my fingers in everything and I want to make sure that I'm controlling stuff. And it's just it's really hard to let go and to think that I can like hire someone to handle some of this stuff when I'm
Yeah.
busy. The
Hey,
problem is though, like I'm not always this busy.
no,
So
but
what do you
but
do when you're not this busy?
but I'm gonna say I'm gonna almost hazard to guess that almost every business owner is a control freak. I would almost
You have to
gather,
be
and
at
you have
some
to be,
level.
and especially if you're gonna try and grind and like and create like something that's gonna have a lasting impact. You're probably gonna care, and you're probably gonna be really busy. And I would say even in my industry, like all of the top producing mortgage brokers in my field, they're all type A kind of control freaks. And I don't know if type A matters, but they're all like go, go, go control freak. And the reason that I've done well is I learned thanks to my mentor at work. I learned to offload some of that early in my career. I hired someone early, like an assistant before I was overwhelmed, right? And
Yeah.
so that I learned to give up control, and you got to find the right people. But again, even I know so many business owners that have talked about how like I have one helper. I know people that have like 100 or 200 employees, and for them, yeah, like the turnover and like finding people that don't work, like and they nonchalantly are like, yeah, I had to let three people go and I have to hire three. And like to me, that's overwhelming, but they think bigger, like, and that's what we have to do.
And that's the trick. And that's where this came from. Because like the chat I had got to the point where I was like, yeah, but like, okay, so I hire these people to do these things, then what do I do? Like I'm the guy that's supposed to be doing the stuff, and I hire the people to do the stuff. Now, what am I supposed to do? Just, yeah, and
No.
that's the thing is like I never went to business school or anything like that, right? So now I'm sitting here trying to learn how to run a business with no business education. And it's tough to think. I've literally gone into Google and searched like what does a company owner do? Like, what am I
Yeah.
supposed to do once because like I don't want to get stuck. And we've talked about this before about being your own employee, right? Like,
Yep.
I feel like some days like I'm just doing all these mundane tasks and I need to be offloading some of this stuff. There's obviously things that I have to do. I'm the licensed realtor.
Yeah,
There's certain
same.
things that I have to do, but
Sure.
there's certain things I don't have to do. And there's certain easy ones to offload, but like when you start to hire help, you have to have a plan, I think, to know, kind of like what it is you're gonna do with that time to help your
Oh,
business grow.
100%. And so like we've talked about this at my work a lot of times. It's like are you gonna you've a couple options. The first option is you fill that free time. Like again, the biggest thing is taking the tasks off your plate that don't really need your attention, right? The stuff that you can hire someone for to do, right?
Yeah.
And case in point, even I was talking to my friend yesterday about like, hey, do you hire someone if you have a massive yard? Do you hire someone and pay them $18, $15, $20 an hour to cut your grass? Let's say it takes 2, 3 hours to do all your yard work, 6 hours a week, let's say. So if you pay someone $20 an hour, it's $120. Like I would say I can in 6 hours of work, I can make more than $120 in my world. So
Mm-hmm.
I either spend the extra 6 hours at my pay scale doing mortgages, or I spend that time with family. So you're either buying time to be with the family and recharge. And my father-in-law, brilliant business owner, a mentor of mine as well, he's kind of guided me and also mentioned stuff like, hey, you know what? Like you can spend your time doing these tasks around the yard if you like doing them. But if you'd rather be golfing or being with your family, bless someone, hire someone, give them work, give them a job, and then free up that time to either rest and relax so you're ready to rock tomorrow at your day job, or use that time to work and make a multiple of that $20 an hour, right?
Yeah. No, for sure. And I subscribe to that sort of. Hey, yeah. And I
Oh,
just
good.
I don't want to say push back, but I guess my the flip side of that is like growing up, I watched my dad, you know, do all this stuff, all these tasks, right? And like obviously he wasn't a business owner. He wasn't, he was just like a blue collar worker. Um, but at the same time, I feel like if I was to just offload those tasks, like cutting the grass, maintaining the house,
No,
that sort of things, I would just be like, I'm like, what am I teaching my kids? Like, how are they ever going to learn how to
no,
do this? I
don't
only
do.
know how to do this stuff because I watched my dad do it.
No, and I'm not saying don't do it. Like, don't do it all. But I'm saying, like, if you're grinding 50, 60 hours, 40, 60 hours a week at your day job, and then you're running between that and doing all these tasks that don't bring you joy and don't bring you energy,
Yeah.
offload some of them. I love cutting grass. I cut grass for 7 years as like a job, right? As a kid.
Yeah.
Love it. I've told you when I retire, I want to cut grass in Florida or not Arizona, in Florida. That's what I want to do. So I love doing it. But when I was putting in paving stones in my backyard every night for 4 weeks straight, a 40 by 40 area, he was like, you just wasted, not wasted, but like I was stressed because I was either working or working on that, not golfing, not seeing my family. And he's like, just
Yeah.
pay someone 3 grand and get a month of your time back. Right.
Yeah, I think there comes a point where it's all just too much and you just can't, if you can balance it and yeah, make that
Yeah.
that time work, then that makes sense. I'm gonna derail this for a second. So this is just going back to I'm not it's still in the right theme, but okay. So we're talking about like we're just overwhelmed, busy, slammed. And I know like faith's a big thing for you.
Yep.
Do you have any like what are your thoughts on like manifestation and being able to like bring about things that you want?
That's everything, man. And again, I wanted to and like not side rail, derail, but like again, not and I'm trying to be positive. I don't want this to come across like I'm very grateful to be busy. Like I love it. That's why I signed up for this, right? So, but like
Well, of course.
overwhelmed in the sense where you're like, holy cow, how do I keep up with everything, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and I think
okay,
that's the vibe we're putting out. And if anyone gets
good.
another vibe, you're wrong.
Yeah, back
So
off.
we're
Back
very
off.
grateful for how busy we are. It's
Um,
what we signed up for. But yeah,
oh,
manifestation.
yeah, 100%. So and the way that I believe things that I believe in are I believe there's more to life than just this rat race, right? And so I believe that there's a God that wants me to live well and have a good life, and so that's what I believe in, and a lot of the things like and a lot of my faith is based on a Bible that talks about um all these sorts of promises, and you can live a good life and you don't have to live overwhelmed and stressed, right? So I guess that's the foundation of my every day, and of course in my business. So a lot of the time it's more or less like the way that I would say is if you meditate, if you do whatever it is, you calm down, you kind of you relax, and then you breathe, and then you speak things into existence. And there's obviously like psychologists that talk about, like sports psychologists, right? Like the power of your words and the power of your thoughts. So the
Yep.
more often you say you're stressed or you're nervous, your body, your cortisol, it's gonna react, right? So
Yep.
for me, the grounding, I have like 10 different statements on a picture right beside my desk here that
Yep.
has a lot of those things. And it basically says like there's nothing that like comes in my path that I can't handle. And so there's lots of like like affirmations and verses that I'll recite during the day when I'm like, holy cow, how am I gonna get through this? So
Yeah.
100%, I think your brain and your thoughts and what you put out of your words matters for sure.
Yeah, we've gotten into this massively over the past year. I'm really proud of my wife and I. We have really kind of taken on a whole new perspective on life in a lot of different ways. And like we're we got into this manifestation whole like your energy and like
Hmm.
vibrations. I don't want to. I am not a hippy dippy kind of
No,
guy.
no, that's cool,
Okay,
bro. It's cool.
but we read a book together that started talking about this stuff, and then we started looking back on like how things have gone for us since we've met, and like how we've accomplished things that even like when they happened we were like, how the heck did that work out like that? Like that should not have gone that way.
Yeah.
And things, I've had friends and family like, oh man, things just seem to work out for you. Things just seem to work out for you guys. That, they always just line up. You guys are so lucky. You're so lucky. We've heard that from multiple people. And looking back, I'm like, you know what? I don't think it's luck at all, because it's the, and I'm going to share a story because this is it's getting to the point where it's creepy because it's working. And this kind of goes to something that you told me before we went on air. Whatever the vibrations you're putting out are what you're going to get back, right? So if
Yeah.
you sit there and say like, oh my God, the weather's so bad today. Traffic looks like it's bad today. This is bad. You're gonna have a bad day. You're just putting it out there, right? Like,
Yeah.
why would your day turn around?
Yeah.
And if you're sitting there talking to yourself like, I'm so stressed, I'm so busy, I'm so overwhelmed, this and that, that's what's coming back to you. You're going to be more stressed, more busy, more overwhelmed. And the busy is good, but at the same time, it's not coming from a productive, positive sort of place. And the story I want to share is from hockey the other night.
Hmm.
Okay, we're playing hockey. We are getting filled in. Like we are getting worked by this other team. It is not going well. I think we were down like 7-0. We're
Okay.
in the back half of the game, and the guy that's on my line for the night is I wouldn't say he was a very positive person.
Okay.
Every time we came off the ice, he's banging his stick. He's choice words that weren't very positive, and I said, we're gonna get two. We're gonna get two tonight. And he was like, "You think we're gonna get two goals? Because like we couldn't buy a goal, man. Like the puck
Yeah.
wasn't bouncing our way,
Yeah.
nothing's working." And I said, "Yeah, that line's gonna get one, and then we're gonna get one." And he was like, "I love your positivity." I'm like, "I'm telling you, man, it's gonna happen. I believe it."
Hmm.
And it's
Hmm.
just this whole thing about, like you said, speaking things into existence and fully actually believing that it's true is the critical key part. And the next shift, the other line goes out there, bangs one in. Not a pretty goal, but it
No,
went
but they
in.
go. Yep.
And they
Yep.
got one. And I said, "See, told you." He's like, "Yeah, but now we got to get one. Hasn't been going well tonight."
Well, there you go.
And
It's probably not.
so we go. I said, "No, man, we're gonna get one." We go down
Yeah.
there. Puck goes into the corner. Took a weird bounce. I picked it up. This goalie's really good down low,
Hmm.
and pulled it out front. He tried to poke check. He missed. I slipped the puck around him, put it right in the net. Boom, second goal. And I pointed right at him. I said, "I told you." And I went back to the bench and sat down. I'm like, I just manifested two goals. Exactly the way I said it was going to happen. It
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
And dude, this keeps happening.
Yep.
It
Yep.
keeps happening. So I
Yep.
think if you are stressed, if you are busy, subscribe to this stuff and our podcast and
Sure. Yeah. And
and and just get into it. It
uh
works, man.
well, the other thing too is like, there's a speaker that I listen to quite often, and he's super old school. He's like 78 years old. He's from like the South Texas, got this drawl, and but he just talks about he'll say things like, yeah, like I believe that I'm gonna have like a successful business, or I believe that the day is gonna be amazing. He'll say all those things like you just mentioned,
Yeah.
and some people are like, that I don't believe. He's like that. Oh, that's crazy. That that's not gonna
Those people
happen. It's
suck.
and then he says, okay, fine. And he's like, yeah. His one liner is like, well, then it won't work for you, right? It's like
Yep.
it's one of those things where
You
it's
have to
like,
believe it.
yeah, or people say, or get this though. I'm like, what's the worst thing that can happen if you start the day positive and you approach things positively with that sort of mindset, like that winner mindset? If
Yep.
you start that way and you do that, if you think your day is going to be horrible no matter what, okay, let's just say that that's your norm, right? Horrible.
Yep.
If you start approaching it like it's going to be great and you're going to pound through all these projects, you're going to be successful, you're going to have great. Okay, let's just say that doesn't happen for you. Well, what's the worst thing that can happen? You're still just back at the normal day where it sucks, right? So like, why not shoot for the stars, hope you land in the middle, and it can't get worse than worse, right? So
Absolutely, man. And like when I first started and I got into the business, and I don't think I told this story. Maybe I did slightly, but I don't think I did. Like I told myself the day I got my license, you're a great realtor.
mhm.
You are born to do this. You're going to be successful. You're going to have a great first year. You're going to have clients. You're going to get listings that you like. And then what happened?
You
All
did.
of that stuff happened because I believed it though. Like I wasn't just like waking up saying it hoping. Like cuz that doesn't work. The vibrations I was putting out into the universe, God, it sounds so hippie, were we're telling the universe this is what I am. This is and like people apparently have gotten wealth, they've gotten jobs, they've gotten partners, they've gotten friends, and things have just like lined up purely by people doing this.
Well,
And it's just the fact there's more people would rather tell you, ah, that's bull crap.
yep.
That's just a bunch of fluff.
Well, and I would say this. I would say like whatever people want to refer to, like again, I've come at it from like a faith perspective. I don't know, you call yours like the universe or whatever. Like there's whatever way you're going to approach this. I think like working off the same principles, which are, you know, you approach it. And again, I studied psychology in my undergrad, and
I didn't know that.
yeah, I have a 4-year honors in psych, and then I have a master's in business, and my business degree was basically social psychology in a work environment. So I have like 6 years of like psych. So, but
That's cool.
yeah, so one of my favorite books of all time is called Social Influence, and it's by Robert Cialdini, and he talks about, man, I haven't read it in 20 years, 15 years. Um, so I'm not really selling it as my favorite book of all time, but I don't really read things multiple times. So read it 2 or 3 times. Anyways,
Yeah.
there's like 5 or 6 main principles on like social interactions and how you can connect with people. And there's one called reciprocity. So if you give someone a glass of water or a pen or whatever, that's how you get all these free gifts because then that person feels drawn or indebted to that person. So if you're trying to create a relationship, you buy them the coffee, you buy them the lunch, you whatever, right? So
Yep.
there's that. There's similarity, right? So if you talk about stuff that you create a common bond, right? There's all these different principles. So I took that out of university and I went and I did a sales job. We talked about this in the first episode where I did door-to-door sales down in Florida. And I literally went through those 6 principles in my day-to-day everything. And I crushed it. And one of mine too was like again, looking back, and I've shared my like Facebook memories with Tyler from 20 years ago. They're
They're so
so
fun.
embarrassing. Yeah, it's like sell. One of them was sell or die. Like I was doing door-to-door sales. I literally posted sell or die. And then but what I'm getting at is I had these post-it notes on my little 1992 Mazda Protege. All these post-it notes
Sick.
said number one, be the best. I'm the best. Dude, I had those. And that's why every single day when it's raining, like I said, or I'm driving and I'm missing my friends, missing my family, I look up and I'm like, nah, man, like I'm gonna grind. So now I'm just saying that it's the power of like your mind. And then also there's a book called Presence by Amy Cuddy. She's a professor. She was, I don't know if she still is at Harvard, but basically if you're going into like public speaking scenarios, there's a whole routine you could do before you go speak that helps you calm your nerves and reduce your cortisol. And like, so there's a lot to be said about the power of your mind and your words. And so
100%.
every day even when we were talking about this pod briefly before we got on air, I was just like, yeah, I don't want us to sound like we're negative because I don't want to put that out there either. Right. And like, I want to stay positive for sure. Cause that's what you're going to attract and that's what's going to happen with your day.
Yeah, man. And I think like to our core, we are two fully positive people. I've got friends that I golf with. I remember we were standing on the tee box one time and it was kind of crappy out and they were kind of like, ugh. And I was just standing there and just like looking at the fairway. We were waiting for the group in front of us and I was just like smiling. And it was like windy and kind of raining. And then he came up to me and he was like, dude, he's like, how are you happy right now? I'm like, man, we're about to tee off. This is the best part of the day. This is awesome. He was like, I don't understand how you're so happy. And he's like, you're just always you're just a positive guy, hey? We were still getting to know each other at the time. And I was like, yeah, more than I'm negative, you know. And like you said earlier, like why wouldn't you be? When people just choose to wake up and be like, man, that guy got the promotion. Man, that guy got a new car. Man, you know, like, oh, this is so expensive. Man, this and it's just like I'm like, oh God, it just
Yeah. Yeah.
repels me away. Like it's like oil and water. I can't handle being around those people. And I have a question. Do you think that a truly like negative person like that could make it in this industry?
It's tough. I think even if you look at, and I've been struggling with that with this week where it's like, and Courtney's like, hey, Paul, like, just remember that all those years when you started in this industry, like, we were, praying, believing, talking, speaking this out loud, all these things. And now they're
Yep,
happening. Like, the phone doesn't stop ringing. And this is what you asked for. And so it's like, enjoy it, bask in it.
for sure.
And then I've really learned to, if someone calls me, hey, how's it going? I used to be like, oh, stressed, overwhelmed. Now it's like, great, I'm happy. And so, no,
And you mean
I
it.
think, yeah, I mean it. I genuinely mean it. And I think if you're, if you have a hard time being positive or pessimistic or optimistic, yeah,
Yep.
I think being a business owner is tough because not only on top of your day job, you're the employee, plus you're kind of the employer. And especially if you have tons of employees, you're going to have 10 times the stress that maybe Tyler and I have if you have 10 times the employees. So I think if you don't have a certain mindset, it'd be a really miserable way of life for sure.
Yeah, you know, like Cody, your little comment there about from what Courtney's saying. Yeah, I had a thing, it was a wallpaper on my phone for many years, and it said like, isn't it great to have the problems we once wished we had, or something like that. It was something like that, like talking about like all these things that you're, consider issues now. Like, oh, I'm so busy. Oh, I have too many appointments. How am I going to schedule this day out? How am I going to make it from this one to that one and then make it home? Like you say, we wished for that. Like that's what you want when you sign up for this. So, yeah, same mindset over here. But I agree. I think if you're somebody who's just and like audit your day, are you an optimistic person? Because I think more people would rather sit there and say, "Oh yeah, I'm a totally positive person." Like I can think of three people that I consider super negative right now that would tell me without skipping a beat that they are positive people, and I'm like, "You ain't. You are not." And
Even with golf though, right? Sorry, did I cut you
oh
off?
no,
Uh,
no,
uh,
it's in the same vein, but I just think yeah, you're not gonna make it. You're gonna be man, if you can't even find just joy in a standard regular day, there's no hope for you to get into running your own company
right.
and you're gonna have a good time. You're gonna
Well,
just be horrible with it.
yeah, and I think like I was just gonna say it's before I cut you off, like basically like with golf, it's like they always say like if you see water on a par three all along the
Yep.
left side, quit saying early one buddies when you're talking on the tee box, we always joke about this. We'll be like Tyler, watch out for all the water on the left, water
Yeah.
on the left, and then
Where's the
your
ball
brain,
go?
all your brain starts thinking is like, because then so they but you'll hear the guys online on TV when they're talking like the caddy and stuff. They're like, yeah, miss is right, the miss is right. Like the miss would be long and right. If the water's short and left, they're not going to say the water's short and left. They're going to say if we miss the green, we want to miss right and left, or sorry, long and
Long and
right.
left. Long and
Yeah,
right. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So anyway,
100%.
yeah, I
And
think if you're
what is that though? Going back to what I said earlier, that's the energy you're putting out. If you're sitting there going like water on the left, you're gonna hit the ball water into the water on the left.
your brain's gonna like mechanically because you've been saying that over and over, right? So,
It's the
um,
vibrations you're putting out, man. And like if I'm telling you, I'm fully subscribed to this. Like good luck shaking me on it.
well, yeah,
And like if your vibrations are like I'm gonna stick this on the green, short of like your club hitting a tree root and getting twisted up or whatever, like there's a good chance you're gonna put that ball on the green or close
yeah.
to it. You're gonna have a good shot. So
Oh
yeah, you,
man.
you gotta be positive when you're doing this stuff, man. It's wild.
But we were talking too about like I know we've kind of like went in different directions, but even initially just going back to all this, I know we talked about like the whole I think the biggest thing as you start growing in your career and as you start owning a business or running your own shop, whatever it is, I think like the most freeing part of it is if you can offload the things that don't bring you joy or offload the things that don't make the money. Well, like in a scenario like with you or I, it's like if we can hire someone to do a lot of the admin work or like I know you love doing your own video and your own photography and the things that bring you joy, but imagine you freed up 20 hours a week of doing all the things that you actually kind of like, but then you could
Ooh,
just
let's get into this.
if
Let's.
you could if you could just dude, I told you, like I know
I
you
know.
love and you do great job of all your marketing, all your video, all your photography. I know you offshoot some of it, but like there's really really good people that that's their sole job that you could pay them and that would give you back whatever 10, 15 hours a week to like prospect or do the things that bring in the business. So like and I'll just go to me and I'll go to you, but for me it means if I can offload all the menial stuff to some help, I'm supposed to bring in the business. So the free time for me is either spent with family or bringing in more business. That means meeting with realtors, meeting with financial planners, whatever it is, not sitting at my desk. So like for you, if you could offshoot some of those things, you could bring in more leads, right?
Yeah, and but I'm gonna. It's funny because this week I just decided that I'm gonna take on more photo and video. Um,
Whoa.
yeah. It's and for me though, like that's
No.
it's. I did, yeah, and I'm gonna.
Okay,
You're
okay.
gonna stop me, and but it's how some of these chats came up. It was because like I didn't just sit there and be like, well, I'm just gonna do more. There was a good chat about like, okay, what's the cost of doing this? Is it gonna take more time? And so this year for me to do all this stuff, efficiency is kind of the word of the year for me is like, okay,
Sure.
if you're gonna do it, then and I'll zoom out for a second because people listening don't know this stuff. Like my my background before I got into real estate is in photography, television production, cameras, creating content. Like that's what I do. It's something that I
It's what you
absolutely
did.
love. Still consider myself a photographer.
No, sorry, you
Um,
are, but you're a realtor. You're a top producing realtor.
Yes, and I've managed to blend the two, and I think that's why I'm good at my job. Is, like I'm a good negotiator. I've been in sales since I was 13. Paperwork, not my strong suit. It's not my favorite thing. I can do it. I can get it done. I'm very particular about it, so I probably spend more time on it than I should. Everything needs to be perfect. But at the same time, I think like for me, like the photos, the videos, and stuff like that, that is my calling card. That is why people hire me. I've been told that so many times, and I feel like if I offload that, one, now my day becomes full of sitting, prospecting, which I hate, cold calling, which I despise, sitting there just doing all these things that I don't enjoy. If they're not positive, they're not something I look forward to doing. And then now every day just becomes something that I'm just dreading.
Hmm.
Whereas like yesterday, I spent a whole day at a new listing capturing it. Capture days are like my favorite days. Like when I have a capture day for a new listing and it's like shooting the photo, shooting the video, getting the B-roll, picturing how the marketing's all going to come together. That is like, ooh, I put a big star next to that. I will cancel golf for that stuff. It is why I do what I do. So for me, like that's an untouchable. I got to figure out other ways to shave time. And I think if you're somebody who's whatever your business might be, if you have those types of things in your repertoire and that's what you're good at, I don't think those are things that you should cancel out, even if they do would free up a lot more time for you. And maybe my broker would argue back the other way,
Yeah.
but like for
I
me, like I'm not in this to crunch numbers and do business spreadsheets and like sit there and all that stuff. I'm like, I'll figure out another way. The business is still coming in, the listing, the marketing, the videos, the photos. That's why people call me and hire me. So for me, I'm like, by doing more photo and video, I should receive more business. It's just how I'm executing other parts
I
where I think I'm wasting time.
okay, I still disagree. Like I knowing you, like this is I've been I mean I've been telling you this for years, like not years,
Yeah.
maybe a year and a half, because I'm like I know how good are you. I do know how good you are at your marketing and your video and your photography. Like I'm not taking that away from you. You're really good at that. But like I just think that the time you spend on that, you would make more money if you paid someone to do that. And I'm not saying you have to prospect, but I mean, you do have to prospect, right? Like, you do have to, like, that's our jobs. Our jobs are if our phone stops ringing, we don't have money. So
Yeah.
I know for you, you think that your phone rings because of your marketing. Yeah, people like it, but like, they like you and they like that you're professional and you know your stuff. And I think that if you let's just say you think that some of the professional companies that that's what their role is just the marketing and the video, okay, if you pay them, let's just say in your brain they're 90% as good at it as you are. I th- I think that the time you would save, you would easily make up for that 10% difference in perceived quality. Like I don't know, I just
But then I hate my job.
Okay, yeah, then that's the issue, right? So if you actually genuinely enjoy it, but then you might not reach the same amount of ends or files if you're still if you like doing that, you might not be able to do as much work, right? Do
I
as much volume.
totally, you know what, I subscribe to that, and
Okay,
man, that seems to be my saying of this episode. I
yeah,
believe that that's true.
sure.
I do more business if I offloaded that stuff? 100%.
Okay,
I
good.
could.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Do I like, and we've talked about this before, but what's the trade-off for two or three more deals or five or six more deals throughout the year? Like at the end of the year,
Hmm.
I'm happy with how the business is running. My goal, I thought when I started too, and I bet you like anybody who starts a business, number one is the goal. And like Gary V, I um, had a video about number one, like, and if anyone listens to Gary V, y'all know he uses
He's
a lot of F
great.
bombs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But he was like, what the F is what is number one? Like number
yeah.
one for what? He says, you know how many categories there are? Like, ooh, I want to be number one. Number one, what? Number one in total sales, but like last in, in joy,
Mhm.
but like number one in ends, but like, 50th in quality. Like what is the goal when you say you want to be number one? And I thought I'm gonna be the best realtor in Winnipeg.
Mhm.
That's what I wanted to be when I started. And I was like, but define that. What does that mean? I think I am the best realtor in Winnipeg.
Mhm.
I might not do the most business in Winnipeg, but at the end of the day, I do plenty of business, enough to keep things going. And 6 years in, we're still cruising happily. I haven't lost my sanity, and I genuinely enjoy what I do. And that's because I get to do, like, for every day I have a day of admin work and I'm at the desk doing spreadsheets and stuff, and it's not my favorite thing. I have another day like I had yesterday where I'm capturing content and this and that. And the thing is, like, I used to be like when I did photography, man, it was like my escape. It's like what I used to like do in my free time. Now I don't
Right.
do that anymore. And like yesterday, and I've been trying to like get back into it. And every time I'll post it, I'll take a photo, I'll post it on social media and be like, I'm back. I love this. I had so much fun taking this one photo. But then I get busy and I don't have time to go and do it anymore. And now, like, work is that for me. Yesterday,
Okay.
dude, wait till you see this new listing I have coming. I shot it completely different than I've shot any other listing before. And I came home like giddy. Like I couldn't wait to get to my computer and look at these pictures and look at this video that I
Yeah.
shot. And I was just like, this is going to be the greatest listing ever.
That's
And
good. I mean,
it just gets my motor going, man.
yeah, okay. Then I mean, yeah, it's not all about money, and I take it back. Like, I mean, if it's a part of your job that's bringing you joy and that's your passion, yeah, go for it. All I'm saying is, and and yeah, you've said you've agreed, not agreed. It doesn't matter if you agree or disagree,
It's
but
true.
like,
No, but it's
yeah,
true. Like you could, if you're somebody whose business is struggling, like if I wasn't doing as good as I am,
yeah, you have to do it
that's
yourself
you
because you
have to
can't afford to
consider
pay
those
it
things.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, bro, you got to stop doing these videos because it's killing you.
Hmm.
And if at some point, and like there was a time like last year, the year before, where just from like being able to keep up, it was the opposite. Like I was too busy. I did have somebody else put the videos together and shoot everything for me. And like photos don't really take that long. Photos take 45 minutes, but like video does take a long time if you want to do it well and good. And if you go to my website, you'll see my opinions on that.
Hmm.
Real video is super important. So yeah, you have to offload that stuff. If you're struggling, if you're not making
Yeah.
it, if you're new in the business and it's not like your forte like it is for me,
Hmm.
man, you have to
Yep.
hire that stuff out.
Yep.
Get somebody who does it full time. There's tons of people in our market and every market who are really good at it.
Well, I always say, yeah, you can buy more business or buy more time, right? So you can pay for someone to help you grow your business, or you can pay them and just enjoy more time with your family and maybe make a little bit less if that's what you want. So it's all kind of like a seesaw or like a fine balance on what's important to you. But no, I think the biggest thing, like you said, like as a self-employed kind of person, juggling the ups and downs and yeah, like the benefit of it. I was talking with a friend last night was yeah, like I worked from home all day yesterday. It was like, 23, 24 degrees Celsius. I forget what that is, 78, 80 Fahrenheit, whatever it is. I don't remember.
Sure.
But
It was
beautiful sunny
nice.
day. Yeah, not overly hot, but just nice sunny day. And I spent 2 hours working on my laptop with my AirPods on the patio. And it was brilliant. And then I mean, we went for a family walk and then yeah, from 7 till 10:30, I went back down to my office and worked, and I enjoy it. I actually like had music on, and I just got ahead on today. So
Yep.
pros and cons, and then just staying remaining positive, and if your partner, you and your partner, you got to make sure if you have one, like a family, that you give them time too, and because like you said, if we talked about a couple times, what's it all for if your family feels neglected, right? What's
Yeah.
all the money in the world means nothing if no one wants to be with you.
Yep. 100%. That's very true. And I think too, like the power of being that positive person too, like if you have kids and a wife or a spouse or whatever, and you're going through these grindy days, you're going through the spring market or the busy season, whatever that might be for you, and you're coming home and you got a smile on your face, even though you had a day from hell or you're just exhausted. You come home and like I'll tell you, like my kids older than yours, mine are 8 and 6. So when they
Mhm.
come home, I there's a lot of daddy, they come
Mhm.
running and I'm telling you, man, it's the best feeling in the world. And like when you're positive, they're positive. And like this is where the whole manifestation thing, and I know we're wrapping up the show here, so I'm not going to go into this too much, but it trickles down, right? You're putting that out. Not only is it going to help you get the things that you're trying to achieve and whatever, but it's going to make the people around you. It's like an aura, man. Like
Mm.
it's like it
Yep.
makes our kids happier. Like there was a time where like we were just, you know, I have standards that I hold for myself that are very high, and when it comes to my kids and stuff too, like, I have expectations of them, and they're not like crazy, but just like I expect them to be polite. I expect them to use their manners when we're eating dinner. I expect them to tidy up after themselves. I expect them,
Right.
they're at that age now where they can do those things. And, I said to my wife one night, I'm like, man, we're on them a lot right now. Like, your room's not clean, your backpack's not empty. Where's your lunch kit from today, et cetera,
Yeah.
et cetera. And I just meant like, man, we're not putting out good vibes. And it wasn't, we didn't do that very long, but it was like a
No.
week of that. And it was
Yeah.
just like, we gotta, and then we took a mental note, flipped it around, got back at it with some positivity, and guess what happened? Things started changing. Kids were happier, waking up earlier,
Yeah.
listening, brushing their teeth, all that stuff. So I'm telling you, it's the key to life is to be positive, and to attack it that way. And running your own business, you're always on, you're always got to be available, but at the same time, the help can be out there, and if you're at a point where you can't, just work smarter, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. No, and I think too, like you mentioned, even the you walk in the door and instantly your family can sense you're stressed and you're anxious and you're nervous and you're mad and you're upset. Like it's like a cloud, right? Like a dark cloud
Yeah.
that overtakes the room. And so, yeah, I think if anything you can take from this is approaching things from like a positive perspective and yeah, trying to manifest whatever words you want to use, like bring it into your life. And I think too, one thing to consider is just figure out your why. And I mean, again, this is the third book I'm going to talk about today,
Also a
but
great book.
yeah,
I've
start
read
with
that
why,
one.
Simon
Yeah.
Sinek, right? So,
Yeah.
what's your why? Like, what's the purpose for all this? And then keep that in front of you. And I typically have like I said, I have post-its. It's so funny, dude. At my office one day, someone walked in. They're like, I don't even know what they were talking about, but they're like, "Holy, you can't remember your family's names?" I'm like, "What are you, what are you talking about?" I forgot, but I have this post-it on my screen that has my all my family members' names like in a line.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
so every day when I'm sitting there working, I'm getting freaking overwhelmed. I'm like, I just look at it. I'm like, yeah, like it's for them, right? Or I'm thankful for my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister-in-law, my
Yeah.
sister, my like all those things. And then,
That's awesome, man. Like
dude,
I have on my desk, I have my monitor right here, and then
mhm,
underneath it, I have a Google display, and it cycles. I have an album of photos that it cycles through, and I always keep them like every time we take the kids out to an event, or we're on the
sure,
boat, or we're camping, or golfing, or whatever, just family pictures, and it's for the exact same reason. Like I'm sitting here, it's 8 p.m. 9 p.m. doing a deal, whatever. I look down and they're always smiling back at me, and I see them doing fun
am I on
stuff.
there? Am I on there? Falcon golfing? No,
No,
didn't make the
no.
cut yet. Just
We got to
family. All
get you
right,
out. Get you
next
to
time.
Pine this year. You're always mad at what do you
I
call it?
will. If you want
At
a
Pine
happy,
Ridge.
only a Pine Ridge. I'm happy everywhere else. Your course just drives me crazy. There's a couple other guys that have like all these free passes, and they're like, oh, like they're always like, let's come out. I'm like, I don't want to go. I just get so mad, dude. But I mean, maybe I have to get better, and then we'll go.
Yeah.
So right on. Well, it's
Okay,
good
man.
times, man.
That was a great episode. I haven't heard it yet, obviously, because we're still recording it. But I'm telling you, I can tell that was a good episode. I feel good. I feel like we vented some stuff out.
Yeah. No, I'm happy, and it's a good reminder, right? It's a good way to just position the day. So thanks.
I'm gonna
everyone
go
for
finish this
listening.
day with some positivity, man.
Let's go. Let's rip. All right,
Cup
man.
half full.
Bet.
All right, folks. We'll see y'all next Wednesday. Thanks for listening.
Talk soon, guys.